Hi everyone, come and paint with me. It is a bit of a miserable day, so I do not want to be outside. So what better way to spend the day than make some art? I'm just going to lay down all my supplies on my table, getting everything set up the way I want it to, and making sure everything is in reach. So here's my table all set up, and this is the sketch that I'm going to be working on today. I'm also going to show you my sketchbook. This is a set of markers that I'm working with. They're watercolor markers, and I'm just going to be using them later for some details. They kind of work the way that any brush and watercolor work. You just dip them in water and there you go. I always use my sketchbook to work out what colors I'm going to use. And I also go in with some pens and colored pencils to help add in some details and build up the colors. That's a bit later. I'm using this very dirty old watercolor palette to first set down any colors. And first I'm just going to add some water to my portrait. I like using the wet and wet technique with watercolor and slowly building up my layers. And I then grab some color, and here we go. I'm just going to slowly build this up and just place it where I want to. And you'll see now I am also going to just kind of dot the watercolor where I want it to go as well. And this process is really just going to be working in layers, waiting for those layers to dry before going in with more color. And yes, this is the real speed that I do work. It's a little bit messy, a little bit chaotic, but I kind of like it. That's the first layer done. I just let it dry, and I'm now going to go in with a smaller brush so I can be a bit more precise with the colours. I'm also going to be working at a much slower pace so I can have a bit more control over where the colour is going to go. One of my favourite things about using the wet on wet technique is that you can just dot the colour onto the page and the colour will spread and pool where it just wants to go. That's the second layer of colour, and I just did add in some blue because I felt like the piece was missing something. And we're now going to go on to my favourite part, which is the face. Again, I'm using small brushes so I can control where the colour goes, as well as working in layers so I can build up the colour intensity to where I want it. And yes, this is the real speed that I work. Again, I'm just building up my colours and I'm working in layers, waiting for those layers to dry, and I'm using small brushes for more control. And here is what I got so far. The first layer of the face is done. It does look a little bit messy right now, but any art that I make is very much trust the process. It's here that I'll go in with all these, the watercolor markers that I showed you at the beginning, as well as some pens and pencils to add in more detail. This is probably the most therapeutic part of my work. You just grab whatever pens or pencils you like and add in whatever details you like. And it doesn't matter if everything was messy in the beginning. You get to bring it all together and make the art that you want. You can go as slow or as fast as you like. You just work in layers and build everything up to where you want it to be. And hopefully by the end you are left with something beautiful, and that's something that you're proud of. Print of this piece will be available on orlartist.com from next week sometime. And if you've made it this far in the video, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe for more.